When I signed the contract, the recruiter smiled too widely and slid the data pad across the table as if it might bite me if she didn't let go fast enough. The job was simple, she said. Infrastructure liaison. Light maintenance. Cultural observation. 6-month rotation. Hazard rating low. Pay obscene. The planet's name was Elera 9, a recently opened settlement world orbiting a soft blue star. Human-compatible gravity. Breathable atmosphere. Minimal indigenous threats. The only odd footnote was a line at the bottom of the contract that read, Population demographics. Non-human, predominantly female. I asked what that meant. The recruiter coughed, straightened her jacket, and said, You'll figure it out. I should have walked away. Instead, I signed. After 6 weeks in cryo and a turbulent re-entry that rattled my teeth, I stepped onto Elera 9 under a lavender sky streaked with slow-moving clouds. The air smelled faintly metallic and sweet, like rain hitting warm copper. A transport drone led me to my assigned residence in Habitation Ring C, a curved neighborhood of low-rise homes grown from biocomposite stone. Everything looked calm, almost idyllic. That illusion lasted exactly 3 minutes. My first neighbor was waiting outside my door. She stood taller than me, skin the color of pale gold with faint geometric patterns glowing beneath it like starlight trapped under glass. Her eyes were pitch black, reflective, and unblinking. She wore what looked like casual clothing, loose fabric wrapped elegantly around her frame, but no shoes. You are the human, she said, her voice smooth and melodic. Welcome. I am Salith. Before I could respond, the door across the walkway slid open. Then another. And another. Within moments, I was surrounded. Every neighbor who stepped out was an alien woman. Some had horns curling back from their temples. Others had translucent skin with visible bioluminescent veins. One had faintly shimmering wings folded tight against her back. They watched me with intense, curious focus, not hostile, not friendly. Studying. I swallowed. Hi. Salith smiled. It revealed sharp, elegant teeth. Do not be afraid, she said. You are expected. That night, I learned the truth. Elera 9 wasn't just a settlement world. It was a convergence colony, home to multiple matriarchal species who had agreed to coexist far from their home systems. Each species had its own reason for joining: political exile, ecological collapse, cultural schism, but they shared one problem. Their populations were failing. Centuries of genetic refinement, selective breeding, and long lifespans had left many of these species with dangerously narrow gene pools. They needed diversity, adaptability, something human. I was not the first man to arrive on Elera 9. I was simply the newest. The job I'd signed up for, infrastructure liaison, was a convenient fiction. My real role was compatibility integration, cultural exchange, genetic cooperation. Voluntary, they stressed. Always voluntary. I laughed hysterically for a full minute when they explained it. Then I asked to leave. They didn't stop me. Not physically. But the next shuttle off-world wouldn't arrive for 6 months, and every day on Elera 9, my situation grew more complicated. Salith became my guide, explaining customs and boundaries. Her species, the Valari, valued honesty above all else. Another neighbor, Nixera, belonged to a shadow-adapted species that communicated partly through pheromones, which explained why standing near her made my heart race. Ithrine, the winged one, treated every conversation like a diplomatic negotiation. Despite their differences, they shared a common approach: patience. They invited me to meals, asked questions about Earth, our oceans, our wars, our art. They listened when I talked about my childhood, about gravity and weather, and how strange it felt to be the only human for kilometers. Weeks passed. I stopped feeling like prey and started feeling valued. But Elora, 9 wasn't without tension. Not all species agreed on humanity's role. Some saw us as partners. Others saw us as resources. A faction known as the Pure Continuum believed introducing human genetics would dilute centuries of evolution. They tolerated my presence only because the colony charter demanded it. Things came to a head during the Convergence Assembly, a planetary gathering held once every cycle. I was asked, politely but firmly, to attend. The hall was enormous, grown from living crystal that resonated softly with every voice. Representatives from dozens of species filled the space, their attention fixing on me as I stepped forward. A continuum speaker rose, her form tall and angular, skin like polished obsidian. "The human experiment has gone far enough," she declared. "He is a destabilizing element. Already, alliances shift. Attachments form. This colony was meant to preserve us, not remake us." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Salith stood. "He is not an experiment," she said calmly. "He is a person, and he has chosen to stay." Every eye turned to me. I hadn't, not really. Not yet. But in that moment, I realized something. Elora, 9 had changed me. For the first time in my life, I wasn't invisible. I wasn't disposable. I wasn't just another worker in a system that didn't care if I burned out or disappeared. Here, my voice mattered, not because I was powerful, but because I was different. I stepped forward. "I didn't come here to save anyone," I said. "And I didn't come here to be used. I came because I needed a job. I stayed because I found something I didn't know I was missing: connection." The chamber fell silent. "I won't be owned," I continued, "and I won't be forced. But if this colony is about survival through cooperation, then let it be honest cooperation. Choice. Respect. On all sides." The vote that followed was close. But the continuum lost. In the aftermath, Elora, 9 changed. New protocols were written. Human participants were given full residency rights, not temporary contracts. Cultural education became mandatory for everyone. The colony shifted from quiet desperation to cautious hope. Months later, when the shuttle finally arrived, I stood at the landing pad with a small bag and a heavier heart. Salith joined me, her expression unreadable. "You may leave," she said. "No dishonor will follow." "I know," I replied. The ramp lowered. The engines hummed. I looked back at the curved homes, the glowing pathways, the neighbors who had become friends, and more than friends, in ways I was still figuring out. "I think," I said slowly, "I'd like to renegotiate my contract." Salith's smile this time was unmistakably warm. The shuttle departed without me. Ending. Years later, Elora, 9 is no longer an experiment whispered about in corporate corridors. It's a model, studied, debated, occasionally criticized, but undeniable in its success. A world where difference didn't lead to domination and survival didn't require surrender. I'm older now, still human, still the only one of my kind in my neighborhood. But when I step outside my home under the lavender sky, I'm greeted by familiar faces, alien women who are scientists, leaders, artists, mothers, and friends. Not neighbors bound by coincidence, but by choice. I came to this planet for a paycheck. I stayed because, among the stars, I finally found a place where I belonged.